There's a little black woman walking and spraying stuff on the sidewalks and trees. I don't know what the hell she's doing. It scares me, though.
So, there's a local Republican there, as you heard, talking about a little black woman spraying things in the neighborhood. We're gonna get to who that little black woman was. It turns out, actually, it was a 9-year-old girl. His neighbor, he lives right across the street from her. You would think you would recognize her since you're watching folks and calling the police on children for spraying something on the grass and the trees. What's going on? What she was doing was that she was removing invasive insects from the trees outside of her home, because she was interested in science, wanted to save the trees. She had learned some things and she was putting them to use in real life. Here's what happened when the police showed up from this a-hole calling them.
She's doing, it scares me though.
Did you have any like clothing description or anything?
She's a real small woman, real tiny. She's got a hood on. You can't miss her.
Hi. How are you? What's going on? Is that your mom? What's that? Oh, what are you using to sponsor? You're trying to catch him? Is this your mom coming down the street? Okay. Someone just called in and said that she was alone spraying something on the grass.
She's catching the...
I see that.
Yeah, tell Gordon a good thank you.
Oh, you know Gordon?
Just really well.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just get your information?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Joseph. Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess he saw it. I'm not sure.
Does he not live across the street from me?
I saw it too, and I thought, wow, she's doing a school project.
Yeah, somebody else helped her. She's
right.
just getting the last one. She's like, Mommy, she's infested.
Oh, she's obviously fine.
We are.
You're obviously next door neighbors.
Yeah. I yelled him when it's his right. No.
No, you're not in trouble.
How many did you kill? How many trees did you save?
They're bad.
Well, there's a mother showing up and speaking to the cops, clearing up that situation. But you know what? There was actually a story about this girl and the things that she's doing. She's always been interested in science. And in fact, this local newspaper in Caldwell, New Jersey did a story about it. Let's look at that headline. It said, Caldwell girl aims to save trees from spotted lanternfly. Maybe if this guy read the paper and kept up with his community, he would know this. Or he could leave his ass in the house and leave people alone. Anyways, the family, including Bobby's older sister and mother, spoke about all this at a local city council meeting, just to give the full community an idea of what's been going on and the harassment that they received from their neighbor, who is an official in the town. Let's watch them.
My sister was doing some research on them after seeing them in our local park and hearing about them in school. While researching them, she realized there's a non-toxic solution you can make at home that can effectively kill the spotted lantern bug. She proceeded to make a mixture which was made up of water, apple cider vinegar, and a little Dawn dish soap. She then discovered multiple infested trees on our street and decided to give the solution a try by spraying them on the trees and the actual bug. She was not only doing something amazing for our environment, she was doing something that made her feel like a hero. Our neighbor across the street saw my sister spraying the trees with the solution and didn't know what she was doing. Usually, if you see a child that you know doing something that might not be good, you'll walk up to them or ask their parents to tell them and let them know what's going on. First of all, she wasn't on his property. And second of all, he knows us. We're his neighbor, and it's not like there's numerous other Black families on our street. It's not only racist what he did, but it was extremely traumatic for my sister. She sees all these other Black children and adults, on the news being killed by police officers for doing nothing wrong. So when this call rolled up beside her, she was immediately frightened because she did nothing wrong.
Terrorized at home. Let's go to some more details really fast, Jessica, before I let you jump in here. Because her mother said that she also knows this neighbor pretty well, as you point out there, as they point out in that video. So according to the Daily Beast, Gordon Losh has lived across the street from Monique Joseph for nearly 8 years and has served as co-chair and treasurer of the town's Republican Party. Good job, Gordon. Joseph said Losh has not spoken to her since the incident and declined to meet with her at the police station for an in-person dialogue about the incident mediated by Caldwell police. Now he's afraid to show up. He can run up on a 9-year-old girl, but he can't talk to her mother because he's a coward. More, lawyers for him say that he's already apologized. So what's the big deal? And that his name has been defamed. The Losh name has been associated with the borough of Caldwell for over 100 years, is what his lawyer said. The name Losh and the word racism had never been used in the same sentence in those 100 years. I highly doubt that, number one. And number two, even if it's the case, now it has. because of old Gordon. So whose name is being dragged through the mud? Which child is never gonna forget this interaction and maybe not trust her neighbors and maybe not wanna go outside and conduct any more of her science experiments? But people like him will then go, how come these black kids aren't doing well in schools? How come they won't get interested? Why won't they get within the community? All they're learning is CRT and reverse racism. But when she's out there doing something because she's a science buff, who are you roll up on her and stopping her from doing it? This isn't the only time this type of stuff happens. Years and years ago, there was a girl that was doing a rocket experiment, a little black girl doing a rocket experiment, and people ran up on her and called authorities the same way. I think it was the police actually in that case. So it continues to happen, and we'll keep saying, why aren't they interested? Why aren't they get acclimated in the community? What's the matter with them? Where are the parents? They're down the street and they're trying to talk to you at the police station while your ass is running away like a coward. Yeah, the name Losh and racism are now synonymous. Probably was before if you ask enough people about it. Jessica.
Yeah, this is everyday life in America if you're black. And you have so many people on the right who say, black people have rights now. Black people are free in America. Sure, so long as you don't leave your house. And even then you're not really free because the cops will find you there and your landlord will evict you from there. So that's not even true. And this little girl was trying to save the planet and had the police called on her. Like, you really can't do anything. And this guy saying his name has never been used in the same sentence as the word racism. Okay, well maybe you just have all white friends and they're also racist and that's why it's never been used in a sentence around you. Like, that's a reasonable explanation for that situation that you feel represents reality. It's just ridiculous and gross that people have to live with neighbors who will call the police on your child for trying to save the tree from lantern flies. Like, it's just sad that that's reality in America today. And they know they're doing it because the police serve and protect them. And of course the police, instead of just leaving and being like, this is ridiculous, this person's harassing you, and filing a report for harassment against the neighbor who called the police, instead he's like, so what's your name? Let's talk to you for a while and have this little girl think she's in trouble, right? So even though he didn't arrest anybody, he's still doing the bidding of this racialized policing system and this system that protects property above keeping everyday people safe.
He's got to answer the call. By the way, there's studies about this we've done many times in the past about how black kids, boys and girls, are considered older, they're more sexualized, they're more, you see how he called her a little woman? This little lady, this woman is run up, this small person is walking around with a hood on her head. Don't forget about the hood. To make sure the cops think this is a dangerous person, because we know once you say she's got a hood on and she's spraying in the trees, I don't know what's going on. He expects them to show up with guns drawn and aggression. That's why he did that. Yeah, the name is synonymous with racism. So you can't shake it anymore. Maybe you should have showed up to the police station to talk to people. Coward.